When it comes to dairy, it's more specifically milk, because milk contains proteins called casein and whey. And these increase IGF-1, which then boosts the oil and the inflammation in the skin. Whereas yogurt and cheese don't seem to have as big of an impact on acne. However, everyone is going to be slightly different, and any dairy can be a trigger. And even whey protein shakes can set off acne. Dairy is one of the most confusing foods when it comes to acne, and it's one of the foods I get asked most commonly about, because so many people have tried removing dairy, but they find it either really difficult or they don't notice and it makes a big difference in their skin. We want to be removing it for a slightly longer period of time, but it might not necessarily be a trigger for you, so it can be quite confusing. Because some people can break out when they drink milk, but some people will be absolutely fine. So let's understand why that is. The first one is that milk proteins, casein and whey can be a trigger. And milk contains both of these. Again, these can increase the IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor 1. And that's one of the big reasons why dairy has been hypothesized to be a trigger for acne breakouts. But what we do know is that IGF-1 acts like insulin in the body. So when the IGF-1 goes up, so do androgens. It tells the skin to make more oil and it increases inflammation in the pores. That combination of more oil and inflammation is the perfect setup for acne to happen. And it's the same reason why whey protein shakes can trigger acne in some people. But not all dairy has the same effect. Like I mentioned before, milk versus yogurt and cheese can be slightly different. In the milk, specifically skim milk, is the biggest problem. Whereas foods like Greek yogurt, the cheese, and even cottage cheese don't seem to have as big of an impact on acne. And again, it's because the research suggests that the milk proteins increase IGF-1. But the fermented dairy products don't necessarily spike hormones in the same. There's also the fact that milk can potentially trigger more insulin being produced in the body, even though it's not necessarily a high sugary food. And again, more insulin equals more oil in the skin. So this is what the studies actually say. A review of studies of over 70,000 people showed that those who drink milk have a higher risk of having acne. It was skimmed milk which showed to have the strongest link. And this is because of the higher protein to fat ratio. But what we do know is that dairy doesn't affect everyone, and these could be some of the reasons. The first one is that we're all responding differently to hormones in our food. The next one is how genetics play a role in how sensitive your oil glands are. And what I also know from working with clients is that some people can enjoy yogurt and cheese without having any new breakouts, whereas some people